for joining us today on Something to Think About with Pastor Mike, where the topics can range from current events, historical perspectives, practical Bible application, to whatever's on his mind today. People have stereotypes of what it means to be a Christian, and one thing's for sure, Pastor Mike loves breaking those stereotypes. Pastor Mike Hasseltine is the senior pastor of Maranatha Church with campuses in Forest Lake and Chisago, Minnesota. With over 40 years of practical pastoral ministry, Pastor Mike challenges us to be real people, loving a real God, right in the midst of all our real lives. Now, here's Pastor Mike.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning. Better for seeing you.
Yeah, wow. It's like, if you've tuned in the last few weeks, you have noticed that my voice hasn't been here.
Mm-hmm. It was great to hear from you by phone.
Oh, yeah, the one day I called in and said hi.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Had heart surgery.
So it wasn't like you were on a motorcycle trip, you were...
Doing nothing fun.
Nothing fun.
I can guarantee you that. Yeah, I have a standing joke, though.
What's that?
Heart surgery is a breeze. Slept through the whole thing. But when I woke up, oh my gosh, that's when the trauma and everything else began.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it has been, today is 7 weeks.
6.
6 weeks?
Yep.
Is it 6 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It feels worse than that. No, I'm just kidding. So you've got color to your face. You seem to be doing well. How's it going?
My cheeks are a little thinner. Mm-hmm. Lost a little weight. I don't advise this as a diet plan, however, a weight loss plan. Nope, not good. Gal, when you come into that kind of a surgery, every person you meet, they're of a high quality. I mean, just incredible.
Nice.
I was really comfortable. I wasn't worried about anything. Go in. Not again. I don't know how to say this without people reading into it, because I'm not ashamed of the Lord or ask for prayer. But it was like I live, in, like the Bible says, in a state of prayer. I don't like these ideas. Things are let's, like, before service starts, and these teams gather and they pray before church. And if you're not ready for what you're about ready to do, it's too late. If you're cramming for your test at the last hour, you've missed the whole process of the study of the semester.
So what I'm hearing you say is you live in the confident space that God is with you. You've got a relationship. You know one another well.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with praying right away.
No,
right?
there's nothing wrong with it. Mm-hmm. But I see it. I wonder how sometimes surgeons and nurses and everything see that as a last ditch. You hope. No,
I've tried everything else, so this is what's left.
My faith is secure. And again, to your point, I don't want to discourage people. I don't want to make them feel condemned. When you go into something like that, you ask, hey, can we pray before this? That's not a problem. It really isn't. But what I found is on the other side, word got out and they found out that he's a pastor. And they were all, they treated me, maybe just a little better, different. I don't know how to describe that even. But and they were, I think you could just sense there this idea of, wow, we wouldn't have known because he wasn't going through all the spiritual calisthenics of, hey, can we have a word of prayer? Can we do this and that? And anyway, it was just one little facet of being different. And for me, this idea of how do you live your life?
Right.
I told people that, I said to the congregation when I found out that I need heart surgery, there's not one thing I had to go through my mind and go, God, I got to get rid of that, or in case something happens,
right?
And I die. There's nowhere in my pole barn I need to find a secret drawer or remove something, or there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
And again, now to make sure you say the flip side, that doesn't mean that I'm perfect in any way, shape, or form. I have enough crazy things going on in my head to start storing things in the closet.
Well, and I think about that, but the freedom, it was really cool to actually hear you say that, and because I hadn't, I hadn't thought about that. But what a wonderful, free way to live when you're just living authentically and real with the Lord, and there's no need to hide. There's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because many times, obviously doing this as long as I have, a lot of death, and I've heard many, many times people, they discover this secret or that secret or
Right.
stash, whatever. And so it's just nice to be able to think through, God, you're so good. I wouldn't think, there was even no regrets. There's no, oh God, I really got to do this, or I got to tell this person that, or there really wasn't. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. And it seemed like you must heal pretty quickly, because you were out of the hospital like sooner than the average bear.
Yep.
So all kinds of cool things.
Yeah,
so.
it was pretty wild. I had a triple bypass, and people talk about, so how did you have a single, double, triple, quadruple? And I have personally come to the realization that I don't care if you have a single or quadruple. They're still cutting your breastbone open.
That's exactly
right. And they're going in there, whether you do a single. But then I started thinking, because I had a whole lot of complications as far as my taste buds, and they told me it's because of anesthesia going out. So that's when I started thinking, oh, well, maybe that's part of it. I was under anesthesia longer for a triple than you are for a single.
Sure.
And that's really the only difference. You're just out longer. But whether it's a single or a quadruple, there's no bragging or anything, because they ripped your chest open any way you look at it. You were cut open, spread your ribs. It was about 3 weeks later in recovery that my sides of my ribs are sore. And I'm like, and I was at physical therapy. I said, what's this? And then she looked at me, smiled, and she goes, well, you do know that they ripped your ribs open. And I was like, yeah, kind of duh. I don't know why the sides of my ribs are a little sore. Because I hadn't felt it. I think I have a fairly high pain tolerance. And you're right, I was fairly healthy kind of going into it. So yeah, I was only, because they say you're going to be in the hospital 5 to 7 days. Well, they let me out on day 4. So I was in the hospital 3 days. And it was kind of funny, because you gotta clear this to get out. You gotta clear this. These people gotta check it out and check off. And so I'm going through the motions of all these different people coming in, because they gotta do their checks, making sure that my blood pressure is under this and that I can walk down the hall and up and down stairs. And anyway, to every single one, they were all amazed at me. They'll go, "You're really getting ready to go home today?" I go, "Yep." And they're all disbelieved. They go, "You just had open heart surgery 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And they are sending you home." I go, "Yep." And I'm glad. I didn't like being in the hospital. That's the first time ever in my life I've ever had to spend a night in the hospital.
Oh.
And I had to spend 3.
Wow.
And that's as long as I ever want to spend in a hospital.
Did you make a bunch of new friends?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. There's some, male and some, female nurses. Because today when you say nurse, I mean...
It's anybody.
Anybody. Yeah, some really, really nice, dedicated to their job. I mean, good stuff. But I think the nursing industry, well, like everything, I don't know why, everybody's looking for, help wanted. And I think that their staffing is, tight.
Yeah. Well,
So-
COVID kind of cleaned a whole bunch of
Oh, my
stuff out.
gosh.
I mean, that I think was really, really difficult on that industry.
So you click the button to have the nurse come, because they don't want you to try to get out of bed and go to the bathroom yourself. So, you click the button and you're waiting and you're waiting. And I'm like, so finally I just started getting up and just going.
Oh, boy.
And then they kind of chewed me out a little bit. They go, "We don't want you to follow." I said, "Hey, I'm fine. I'm fine. I come in." The only thing that wasn't fine is my keister was probably hanging out the back of my robe. Every time they'd come in and they'd see me, they'd reach up and they'd grab my robe and they'd, put it over. It's like, when you're at that state and stuff, you don't care. I don't care.
Modesty goes right out the window.
It kind of does. I mean, to a certain level. Yeah, it's like, I don't care. Yeah.
That's
But
funny.
the whole taste buds thing has been the hardest.
That has been really just interesting.
Everybody thinks, the heart's incision and all that, they're afraid to hug me because they're afraid it's going to hurt. Literally, as you know, because you've seen me for a couple weeks now, this doesn't hurt. That chest cut open, all that, my chest, it doesn't hurt.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. Never has. In fact, I quit taking pain pills before I left the hospital. Came home and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Anyway, so that's that. I'm here, feeling better, but I do get winded rather quickly. I get exhausted kind of quickly. but I'm anxious to get back in church on Sunday.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, just to come in today to do this, I will do this, and then I'm going to go to physical therapy. And by the time I get home, I'll be pretty tired.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it'll be, quote, for me, a full day.
Yeah, good for you. Well,
Yes.
I mean, that you're paying attention and getting the rest that you need, because I'm sure that all goes into what a shorter recovery period looks like than extending it.
It's crazy. They say that sleep, rest, is the best recovery tool you can really have.
That's right, yeah.
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 But you don't sleep at night. Mm-hmm. At least I don't. Because you're kind of laying around all day and sort of, and then nighttime comes.
Your circadian rhythm is messed up.
So I'm like wide awake. 1 o'clock goes by, 2 o'clock goes by, 3 o'clock goes by. And this morning, as 3 o'clock was going by, I thought, Mike, you kind of told Robin that you were going to be in for the radio station. It's 3 o'clock, and yeah, okay. Anyway, here's the thing, though. I can always go home and take a nap now.
That's nice.
I could go home, shower, take a nap.
Good for you.
So I'm ready to roll. So what do we got for national days?
What we have for national days. Okay, so today is Canoe Day.
Canoe Day.
Canoe Day. So,
Canoe?
And I can canoe, yes. I don't know that it's fancy or efficient, but I like to kayak, so kind of a canoe, but not really. Okay. It's also Flowers in Your Hair Day.
Nope, ain't happening.
We could tape them to your head.
Yeah, we could. That's how it would have to happen.
It is International Day in Support of Victims of Torture Day.
God, that's a horrible thing to even imagine.
It is.
But, there is truly political captives around the world in different countries. And people are tortured. Hard to imagine.
But
then it's almost like no less insidious is the amount of people who live in abusive situations.
Right.
I think about the women mainly, some men too, but mainly women who are abused, mentally. Can be life scarring beyond physical, because the physical will heal usually pretty quick. But sometimes that emotional, mental torture.
Oh my goodness.
And people live with that.
Yeah, it is. It was an interesting date, so I did a little bit of poking, and it said that the origin of this particular day, it was established by the UN General Assembly in December 1997. And
not that long ago.
No, and the date commemorates the day in 1987 when the UN Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, and Degrading Treatment or Punishment went into effect. And under international law, torture is explicitly prohibited at all times, under all circumstances, and its systemic use constitutes a crime against humanity. That I didn't know. So,
I mean, I did, but I thought nobody follows that anyway. I have found out that this idea of not bylaws, but it's like integrity.
Ethics.
What do you call it? Ethics.
Morality.
Ethics.
Yeah.
People can write up all kinds of ethics documents, and they're fine until something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And then they don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So
Okay.
so there's rules how to fight fair in war.
Right.
But when war actually comes, they don't.
That kind of goes out the window.
It does, unfortunately.
A different segue here. It's National Barcode Day.
God, when was the barcode invented? I mean, that was in our lifestyle. That was in our lifetime.
Yeah. National Barcode Day is celebrated annually on this day to commemorate the historic first ever scan of the Universal Product Code, the UPC, in 1974.
74.
Which took place in a Marsh supermarket in Troy, Ohio, when a cashier scanned a 10-pack of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit gum.
That's pretty incredible.
Isn't that fun? So this shift in technology was invented by an IBM engineer, George Lauer, and has revolutionized modern commerce, supply chains, all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. People can't remember. I mean, young people cannot remember life without a cell phone.
Right.
You know, when the phone rang when I was young, I had to go to it.
Right, exactly.
It was hanging on a wall somewhere.
Right, yeah.
And with a long cord. And same way, you go to grocery stores, you and I are both old enough to remember.
They ring everything in.
They had to literally put a sticker, a price tag on every can of soup, every box of cereal, every bag of noodles, every item. Somebody had to go through that store when they were packing the shelves and put a price sticker to it.
And that meant somebody at the cashier was really good at 10 key.
Really 10 keying, because when they seen the thing that said 92 cents, they had to key in 92 cents. The next item, they had to key in the price that was on that tag. And now we just take for granted. We just buzz it through, just zoom.
Zoom. It's also World Refrigeration Day. Here's what's exciting about that. They're highlighting the vital role that refrigeration, air conditioning, heat pump technology plays in modern society. And this particular date commemorates the birth date of Lord Kelvin, June 26, 1824, after whom the absolute temperature scale is named.
Kelvin, yeah.
Kelvin.
Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's also National Bomb Pop Day.
Ooh, I like Bomb Pops.
You like Bomb Pops?
Yeah, you know, I have a pack of Oreos with Bomb Pop flavor sitting on my desk, but because I haven't been healthy enough, because everything tasted horrible when I've been anxious to, maybe after the show, I'm going to go in there, get some milk, and try some Bomb Pop Oreos.
Wow.
That's wild. Yeah, I like Bomb Pops.
Huh.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also, National Handshake Day. Shake your hand.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
Yeah, good. I'm Mike.
I'm Robin.
Okay, good.
Nice to meet you.
KJ, how are you over there? I can't shake your hand because it's through the glass.
Through the glass. I'm doing well.
It's good to see you.
Likewise.
You know, y'all have no idea how, when you've been out of commission like I have, beyond your control, like Robin said, I'm not doing something fun. I'm not on vacation. I'm not, taking a motorcycle trip. How much you just miss seeing people you love. You're around. It's in your life. So seeing you is like, wow. You know what's really a little signal to my brain is that I am getting healthier.
Good.
I'm getting better. When I see people like you, it means that my life is getting back more to normal,
I think there's something about it motivates you.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes you live longer.
And it just it brings in some endorphins. It just brings a happy feeling. It's like, oh, there's KJ.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, and then when Pastor Robin told me this morning, I'm like, I'm glad I'm producing today.
Yes, yeah, it's good. It's good to be up and abound.
Yeah. Even hearing your voice when you called in, however you guys did that over your phone, I'm guessing you held it up to the mic. It worked.
Yeah,
I listened online, and it worked really well.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah,
that was weird. You know, what's really strange is even your voice strength, when you're healthy or you're not healthy, I can tell it even in the way I talk. Because before it was just a little more weak, a little faint, didn't have the same force. But yeah, thankfully, again, this marks today, 6 weeks ago, I had surgery.
Wow.
So 6 weeks.
Yay.
But the real milestone I'm looking forward to is 12 weeks. Because that's when you can really start to do stuff. Right now, I'm still stuck to, for the first 2 weeks, you literally could not lift your hands over your shoulders. Couldn't do it. I mean, they said, don't put dishes away. Literally. I don't know why, because they didn't want something in the breastbone to separate. And I don't know how that would do that. But, a lot of limitations. Well,
it was a big day when you got cleared to drive.
Yes, absolutely. Because I got in trouble for driving way too soon.
I wasn't going to bring that up. Just the joy of being able to drive. Woohoo, freedom. It's like Freebird is playing in the background.
Yes, I can drive. It's like, woo. Yeah, you had to wait 4 weeks. Yeah, and coming to find out, I think that they're worried about your steering and putting pressure on that chest bone, your chest, and all that kind of thing. But the main thing was, as I read more and more, they would assume that you're still on pain pills. They don't want you driving on pain. Well, I've been off pain pills since, like I said, before I left the hospital. So to me, I read that and I go, I'm not on pain pills. I got power steering. I'm good. I drove on the second week.
I wouldn't recommend this.
No, I wouldn't recommend
this.
This
is not medical advice.
But when,
these opinions expressed are not necessarily those of the owners
or the medical, establishment. But when my wife found out, that's when I was strictly limited and my wings were clipped. You can't do that. I mean, very afraid. So I didn't drive until I was supposed to.
So.
You know what's really ironic about that, though?
No idea.
I think sometimes KJ, you're going to get a kick out of this. Okay, so everybody's all concerned for you, which is wonderful and marvelous. Well, the rules say you can't drive, and they're coming up with stuff that they don't even know is true. But it's understandable. It's imaginable. They don't want you to get in an accident and have the airbag go off and boom, rip that chest open again. Because everybody has been saying you don't want that to happen. So don't do it. So, don't drive because you might get in an accident and the airbag will go off and you think. So what I did was I had somebody drive me around when I needed to get someplace because I'm trying to follow the rules. Don't drive. So I had somebody drive for me. KJ, not one person asked me, did you sit in the back seat? Not one person was all concerned about this, airbag thing. I'm sitting in the passenger seat and nobody said, well, there's an airbag there. That's the logic kind of doesn't really always follow through. It's kind of funny. It really is. So now I'm with my PT people arguing all the time about weight limits. But that's another story that we will avoid right now because I don't want to incriminate myself or anybody else. But it is good to be on the other side. I'll just say that.
Yeah, good for you.
Good to be on the other side.
Glad it was caught in time.
And I know that,
this could have turned out very differently.
It could have been very, very differently. But we are following doctor's orders and all that. The other day, when you talked about, I heal quickly and all that, I was in the doctor's office last Tuesday. And while I was there, I was there for something else. And then she says, well, as long as you're here, can I look at your incision? So, took my shirt off. And she looked at the incision and she goes, you're a good healer. She looked at it right away. She goes, the incision and the other 3 holes that they have there.
Wonderful.
She goes, you're a good healer. I was like, score.
I want to be good at something today.
Yeah,
I'm a good healer.
Yeah, it's like, wow. Now if I could just be a better listener. No.
There's always that for all of us.
Oh, that's really wild.
For sure.
Hey, right before we go to break, KJ, anything new, interesting, wild, crazy in your life since I've been gone?
Yeah, I did Boundary Waters with my daughter.
You did? I remember hearing you talk about that.
National Canoe Day, we did that.
Fun.
She loved it. We did our first overnight, so she's sold on that. And then working on closing on a cabin here. It was supposed to be the 30th, but, the logistics of that kind of stuff, I think it'll be after 4th of July. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a lot more work, but that's why I was asking you, Pastor Robin, about the whole doc thing.
Yes, absolutely.
They literally called me when we started the show.
Oh, yeah.
They're over there checking it out, trying to figure out parts
Wonderful.
and everything.
Oh, that's great.
Well, congratulations on buying a cabin.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's been like a lifelong dream.
It has, yeah.
Good for you.
What? I'm not sure if you want to say it or not, but what lake are you on?
It'll be Big Butternut in Luck, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Fun.
Luck, Wisconsin.
Yep.
So it's nice little getaway, but it's not terribly far.
Yep. Compared to Boundary Waters. I mean, I would love to live way up there, but it's far. 3 hours.
It's a long drive.
I drove up there last weekend to play golf, and now I realize why I don't go up there very often.
That's really wild. Yeah. Hey, it's great to be back and great to have you tuning in today. We'll be right back after this break. You're listening to Something to Think About with me, Pastor Mike, a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments about today's show, email us at wajc@yourliferadio.com. If you're ever in the Forest Lake area, I'd love to personally invite you to join us for a Sunday morning service at 9:30 a.m. or Wednesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. There's something for everyone.
Something to Think About with Pastor Mike is a production of WAJC Your Life Radio, which is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. You can find more information on the web at realchurch.org. Now, back to Something to Think About.
Hey, welcome back. It's good to have you all tuning in, and it's nice to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
missed everybody's smiley faces. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm curious, what have you been doing the last 6 weeks? What was the first few weeks, and what are you doing now?
Okay, that's a great question. It's probably a boring answer, but it's a great question. I can honestly say if I go down this road, I'm going to sound like a whiny, cryy baby. Nights for me in the hospital were horrid. It was like torture. You know, it is nothing nobody did, obviously, but it was just the situation. You're stuck in a bed. You literally, that heart red pillow that everybody gets? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks that's to hold your chest when you cough and all that. Well, I mean, it kind of is. And again, this whole pain thing, I never needed it to cough. I mean, it hurt, but it was a cough was so fleeting of pain, it was like, no big deal. It's just pain. Here, gone. Sneeze, however, woo! Do you think Jesus is coming back?
Yeah.
But the purpose of the pillow is to keep your arms occupied so you don't use them. Literally, imagine yourself trying to get in bed. Better yet, imagine yourself trying to get out of bed without being able to put any weight on your shoulders or using your arms to scoot yourself out of bed. You can't do it. Your gluteus maximus does not work that way to walk you out of a bed, you know? Mm-hmm. And
you could almost call it a straitjacket puzzle.
It was, I felt, okay, that's a great way to describe it. I felt like I was in a straitjacket. And literally, psychologically, it really started to affect me. I mean, it was a rough time. Really rough. My back was in so much pain, and I couldn't get out of this bed. Mm-hmm. And the nurses would come. They try to move you, but they can't move you. And it really was, for me, it was horrible. It was a nightmare. So the next night, that was the first night. The next night, I didn't go to bed. They said, hey, well, you want to go to bed? I said, no. Where are you going to sleep? I said, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to stay awake. And they looked at me like, yeah, I'm going to sit in this chair. It was just like a kitchen chair, just a regular, hard, firm chair. And I literally stayed up all night sitting in that chair because I did not want to go to sleep, and I didn't want to go in the bed. I was so tired. But I can't go in that bed because if I go in that bed, I can't move. I can't get out of it.
You're kind of trapped.
I was so trapped. It's like I can't go in the bed. I'm going to sit right in this chair. And then I had them wheel up a, that wheel tray thing where you eat your meals and all that, and they put stuff on when you're in the hospital. I had them wheel up there so I could just lean my head on it. And as long as I was up in that position, I could get them going to the bathroom too. Mm-hmm. It was a lot easier. I'm already up. Because like when you're in the bed, you have to get a nurse to come get you out of the bed. I mean, it was just, to me, it was a nightmare. So I finally get out of there. I get home, and nights are as bad. They're just as bad. You know, Orlean for the first few nights, slept on the couch out in the living room, and there, and so to get back to your question, so what do I do all day? Not much. That's why I think nights are so rough, because you sit in a chair a lot of the day, your recliner for me in the garage, and then at nighttime you go in the house and you sit in a recliner because you can't lay on your stomach, you can't lay on your side. I don't think, in fact, I'm going to find out today because I've got to find a different sleeping position because you lay on your back all the time. So what do I do? I try to get up every hour and just move around, walk a little bit, but I can't pick anything up. I can't clean. I can't use a broom. I mean, so it's strange. I mean, you can't do anything. It's just the most frustrating, but it's a healing process. Praise God they can do a heart surgery. Right. You know? So I felt like a whiny baby because I am right now. But I'm thankful. I'm grateful that you do this. But the process of healing is just terrible. So I think it's the second or third, I think it's the third week, you start physical therapy. Mm-hmm. Okay, so at home, I'm going stir crazy. So you ask me, what do I do? man, I hate this whole show. Going to be about heart surgery and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
and about breaking
I'm
rules.
Curious. I really love to hear the experience.
So here's the deal. So I'm home, and you know me, muscular-wise, I'm a fairly muscular guy, and that has all went away because I stopped working out like 6 months before the surgery because my heart surgeon said, Mike, your heart is bad. Don't do anything. So I didn't. So my muscle mass has just deteriorated into something terrible. And this is the third time that I've went from being pretty muscular to not being able to work out because of surgeries. I remember my shoulder surgery. By the time I was done recovering, it was 9 months. When I went back to benching, I used to warm up with 225 pounds, do it 20 reps. Now, I couldn't do the bar. I mean, that's how, so I had to start from over. So I'm right back there again, and I'm like, oh, man. So I'm downstairs in my basement in the room with the weights, in the weight room, and I'm making sure that I'm doing really proper form because everybody's constantly always talking about you do not want to crack this open. You do not want to crack this chest bone open. So I am making sure that I'm not putting any pressure there. I'm doing a perfect form, making sure I'm using just my bicep, shoulder locked in, and I'm taking 20 pounds, and I'm doing 20 pounds. Orlean found out. Oh, it hit the fan. Oh, my gosh, she was not happy. And again, I get it. She doesn't want me to hurt myself. She doesn't want to see me suffer and ruin a good surgery. So, but in my mind, I'm thinking, what is not going to create a twisting or a pressure on this chest? Again, knowing the body and the physique and mechanically how it works, I knew there's no chest flies, no raises. I knew all the things I couldn't do, but I knew for sure I could do a bicep and a tricep. So I did the bicep, and then I'm taking, I think I only used like 15 pounds, and I did the tricep extension. And again, Orlean found out about it. So come day one, because I'm giving her all excuses. Honey, I know I'm not hurting anything there. This is a movement that I can do. Anyway, so we get to the first day of physical therapy, and this is hilarious. We get there, and Orlean's sitting out in the waiting room where she can look through the doorway and see me in there, because I'm going on the treadmill for a while. I'm on the recumbent bicycle for a while, but then they bring you back to the weights and stretching.
I bet you looked like a kid in a candy store.
No, it was really hilarious. I kind of, but it was hilarious because they only gave me 5 pounds. Only 5 pounds. But it didn't matter to me because I was justifying or explaining my justification for doing biceps and tricep extension at home with Orlean. I was telling her, honey, I can do these. So when I get into the physical therapy, guess what are 2 exercises they let you do?
Yeah.
They're making you do a bicep and a tricep extension. So I see her and I get her attention. I'm holding the 5 pound. I'm going like this. I'm waving at her going like this. And she is just laughing and also just kind of going, Mike, Well,
yeah. It's always hard when you're presented with a situation with someone you care about when they are going against medical advice. Now, how soundly that medical advice is applied to that, because they are such general principles,
yeah, they're
right?
applied to a wide variety.
And typically, like you've pointed out, the medical directions, that tends to be around folks who actually are physically in really rough shape. So that you are having this is someone your age and physicality having this surgery is rather unusual for them.
I would agree.
But at the same time,
to my point,
the generalization of these medical advices, and so yeah, it does provide a place of consternation because. Mm-hmm.
I quickly through I think. Begging and pleading and everything else, I moved from 5 to 10 pounds like really quick, and even then, I'm trying to be very respectful and all that, but I'm also again kind of a little bit of a whiner complainer, saying you guys 10 pounds is nothing, so I'm doing 10 pounds with 10 reps. Mm-hmm. And I said to them, you guys have no idea how this is. It's not even doing anything.
Nothing.
It's like lifting a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So then they said to me, well, do 2 sets, So I'm like, okay. So they walked away, and when the day was done, they said, well, how many did you do? I said 50. I did 50 reps with each arm, bicep, tricep, 50 reps. So the next week I went in, they gave me 10 pounds, but they upped my reps to 30.
Yeah.
So again, how many did you do? 40 on some, 50. It's like. Mm-hmm. So I made an appeal. I should not go down this road any further. Because
you and your medical team are customizing a approach for you, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, we are. And so now I just hide behind this little wall, and I do some of this.
Oh,
I do some flies, some back flies, and so anyway. But only with 5 pounds, because I'm just doing it the first time. It won't be long. It'll be a 10, then 15, and we're going like that. But okay, so back to my day. I literally, on the days I don't have physical therapy, I do the same thing I do at physical therapy at home. So physical therapy is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday I do it at home myself. Thursday I do it at home myself. Saturday I do it at home myself, and real often on Sunday as well. Sure. Because I'm not going into church yet. Yep. I'm looking forward to that's going to be the next really big step, is to show up at church. So I am looking forward to that. But literally, Kyle, to answer your question, what do I do all day? It's kind of nothing. I can't mow the lawn.
Are you allowed to take walks?
Yep. And I do.
Nice.
Like I said, I do the exercise type walk. But then every once in a while, after sitting for an hour and a half or so, I get up and just take a little stroll down the driveway to the end of the cul-de-sac and back. And just, literally, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
God, the more I'm talking to you here, I'm getting more depressed. I'm thinking, I've been nothing but a loaf.
Have a party. You can still have people over and have a party. Oh, that's the thing. I would imagine it feels like torture for you because you seem like quite the extrovert and the socialite.
So I do have a group of guys that come over every Monday, and I look forward to that. I love that. So the group come over. This last Wednesday, it literally, I think, was just an emotional health day for me for just a lot of reasons. I just sent out a text to some guys saying, hey, I'm going to be hanging out in my garage tonight. Anybody want to come? And quite a few came. So you're right. That socialness is important. Yeah. I do appreciate that. Again, I sound like a big baby.
Well, it gives me, it takes my mind to, we know there's a whole lot going on in the hospital all the time. There's joyous things, there's really difficult things, but just with the hearing what it is you experienced while you're in there, just a whole different appreciation for every room has a story.
Yep.
Everybody's in there dealing with a something, and it can, it's usually not necessarily good news. As far as just the difficulties that people are going through or whatever, even when there's great or good outcomes, whatever that happens to be, but still there are folks in the hospital right now who are struggling with some of the things that you struggled with, and how visceral that is.
True. I would meet people who were in way worse shape than me. And I say, well, how long you been here? 3 months. Oof. I was going to be there 3 days. I'm with people in the physical therapy. How long you been coming? 8 months. Again, it's like, wow. And
it's probably their social outlet.
For some of them, it is. One guy actually told me, I went to the 7 o'clock workout because I usually go to the 10:15, but 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, there's only just a few of us there, and there was a guy as chatty as me, as social as me there. So we're wrestling to see who's going to get words edgewise. Joking, but he actually admitted. He said, I'm kind of done off the insurance program. But I just like coming in because it's a safe place to work out. Because, you're hooked to monitors, and the people up front and the ladies, they got their thing. They can monitor. They can check where you're at any point. He said, I like it, and it gets me out of the house, and it gets people to visit with. So it's very social.
Invite them to church.
I think there's a couple people that are curious because they've eventually found out what I do, and they're familiar with this area, so they've seen the building, and they go, oh, so you're the pastor of that church? Oh, yeah. And they were just kind of intrigued. I think some are going to be, the curiosity has been poked enough for them to come visit.
Nice.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Just making friendships with some of the guys there. Yeah, it's been fun. But what do I do? Nothing.
Heal.
Nothing. Yeah. That's really weird to think about. when you ask the question, it's like, God, I really don't do.
Well, but people forget that healing is a very active process. I mean, and the more you push it, the further away whole healing is.
Yeah, because I've done like 3 funerals in the last couple of weeks, and it gets me out with people, social. But I'm working. I'm exuding energy and whatever else. And one of the physical therapists says, you got to be careful because possibly you don't sense it, but when you do that, you set yourself back 2 days. Mm-hmm. That 1 day of energy, you've set yourself back for your healing for 2 days. Mm-hmm. I was like, wow. Yeah. I've always grown up with this idea that you just push through. You just do stuff. That's not
very
always
American.
That's not how the body heals.
Yeah, and not with the heart. I mean, I learned
Not-
a few years ago, I probably pushed myself running, whereas at this stage in my life, I should monitor it. And they say to keep your heart rate below, 180 minus your age.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can injure yourself. Not only your muscles you're working out, but your heart, mainly.
Yeah, because your heart is a muscle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was really thankful when my surgeon came back and he says, surgery went well and all that, but he said, I got some really good news. Your heart is strong. And I think that was his way of saying you didn't wait too long to cause any heart damage.
Yeah.
He says, but your heart is strong. Mm-hmm. And he says, does exactly what it's supposed to do. It pumps blood. So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Good.
So I tell my wife all the time when she thinks I'm being mean, I say, I got a good heart.
There you go.
Honey,
I'm sure that makes all the difference.
I got a good heart. The surgeon said I do. I got a good heart. That's really wild. Well, to your point, just kind of changing the subject here a little bit, but staying on the fact that there's enough, you hear me say often, there's enough pain to go around in this world every day.
Oh, yeah.
There are people in pain in situations that are just really, really difficult. Just really difficult. And you can't take it in. But the other day I was reading in 2 Kings and reading the story of Elijah. Man, if you haven't read 2 Kings in a while, I challenge you to read it. It can be, to me, discouraging because I'm reading this in Elijah. Some of these miracles. I mean, the floating axe head.
Yeah.
An axe head in water and they lose it in here. They find out, well, it's borrowed. It's not even mine. What am I going to do? And Elijah says, well, bring a stick over here. And he makes the axe head levitate out of the water. Mm-hmm.
Going against the laws of physics and...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And all that. So then, raising the widow son back to life, praying or causing the grain and the oil for her to last for the whole famine.
The jars.
All those years. When going to run out? There's just all these wonderful, incredible miracles. But in 2 Kings, chapter 6, Ezekiel is running around, and I'm trying to find chapter 6. Oh, there it is. He goes against... Okay, so even the nations besides Israel use him because they know he's a man of God, and they want his blessing and stuff. So he's kind of traveling around, and the king of Syria was making war against Israel, and the Israeli army always knew what the Syrians were up to.
Right.
And finally, one day, one of the generals in the Syrian army goes up to him and says, well, you know why we're finding difficulty at every approach is because the man of God, Elijah, God's telling him, and he's telling Israel what you think about at night.
Yeah.
I mean, what you say in your tent goes right into the words of Elijah, and he knows. Mm-hmm. So now this king of Syria says, well, tell you what, you... make sure you go out and you find out. Tell me where this guy is, and we're going to go get him. So I'm trying to find my place here. Let's see, verse 10. Then the king of Israel sent someone to the place in which the man of God had told him. Thus he warned him, and he was watchful there, not just once or twice. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was greatly troubled by this thing. He called his servants and said to them, will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha the prophet, who is in Israel, he tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedroom. Okay? And that's when he's going to set out somebody to go tell me where this guy is. So he said, go and see where he is, that I may send and get him. And it was told him, saying, surely he's in Dothan. Therefore he sent horses and chariots and a great army there, and they came by night and surrounded the city. Again, this is a great story. And I am going to bring it up to a point of where we left. A lot of suffering in the world. When the servant of the man of God rose early and went out, there was an army surrounding the city with horses and chariots. And the servant said to him, alas, my master, what shall we do? I mean, this guy was panicked. So they're sitting in safety. They're in Dothan, in the kingdom. And Syrian sends this big army to go kill Elisha. So they show up, and they're all around the place. And Elisha's servant gets up and goes out and goes, holy shoot, Batman, we are in a lot of trouble. He looks out and he goes, today's the day we're going to die.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He looks out and is terrified because of the news and the situation he is facing. And he's like, oh, man. So he goes back and tells Elisha, while we were sleeping, they came and we are surrounded. Elisha, one cool cookie, he answered, because the guy says, what shall we do? He answered, do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Okay, so if in real time, if you're that servant, you're thinking, Elisha's on drugs. What? There's nobody with us. What do you mean there's more with us than them? And Elisha prayed and he said, Lord, I pray, open his eyes that he may see. Mm-hmm. Then the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire around Elisha. So when the Syrians came down, Elisha prayed for the Lord and strike the people with blindness. And basically, every one of those Syrian soldiers were decimated, running off to be and taken captive and all that. The calm of Elisha is what, when I was reading this the other day, two things struck me. Number one is just the calm of Elijah, kind of like I was talking about before. I didn't have to feel like I was in panic to pray. I got to take care of this.
Yeah.
No, I realized I live in, again, not that I'm super spiritual or more holy than anybody else, but there's just this relationship that I trust. Mm-hmm. God, you've called me, and I do this. And real often people are panicking. Mike, you did this, mm-hmm. and you should fix this, and you just, guess what? I wake up every day trying to place myself saying, God, it's your church.
That's right.
You're doing it. I can only do what's put in front of me to the best of my ability. And am I perfect? No. But I have this sense of confidence that he is with me. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter what other people think, say, do. It does not matter. I am in a relationship with God where he brings me peace. Mm-hmm. Period. But then there's that, so that's, I think, this idea of praying constantly, living in a relationship with God. Not doing Christian things and all that kind of stuff will panic you and freak you out. No, we are Christians who live in a relationship with God, and hopefully we're doing things the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so brings us to the second point, and that is when Elisha prayed for the servant. He says, Lord, would you open his eyes and let him see that there's more with us than with them. Mm-hmm. And when you talked about in the hospital beds and every situation is going on in this world, I'd like to kind of speak to them, because every one of us at different moments in our life, we're panicked, we feel overwhelmed, we feel outnumbered, we feel like, we're toast. I want you to know that there's more with you than in your situation.
And even Jesus on the cross.
Right.
Yes. It's like, God, I pray even right now that the situations that people are facing, that they would be able to feel your peace and realize that you are in control. We cannot act or overact, but that we would experience your presence. And Father, for those that feel lonely, I pray that you'd open their eyes, help them to see that you are there and that you love them. Those that are alone, recently lost a loved one, they feel alone. Father, I pray that they would feel and sense your presence, that they are not alone. Those that are feeling overwhelmed with medical decisions or kids' decisions, marriage relationships, and all these things. Father, may they sense your presence in the midst of their situation. Father, we thank you for that in Jesus' name. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Something to Think About. Well, I will look forward to being here again, Lord willing, next Friday. KJ, thanks, man. Pastor Robin, thank you.
I betcha, thank you. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Please join us right here each Friday morning at 8 a.m. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, email wajc@yourliferadio.com. You can hear more from Pastor Mike at Maranatha's website, realchurch.org, on the Messages and Media tab. The opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the owner.